key to doing a question like this, where to find the original amount given a sentence like this, is we need to understand what does this sentence translate to mathematically. So if we take this sentence that we know that 0.2 grams are present after 1,000 years, we first have to think, what is that mathematically? And the key here is that a function maps two sets of data. And in this case, our input is time, and our output is amount of C14 left in the organism. And what this sentence says is that, like, after 1,000 years, we get 0.2 grams. And mathematically, that translates to Q of 1,000 equals 0.2. So a key thing here is, what does equality let you do? And the equal sign lets you substitute. Substitute all of the left side for all of the right side. Okay? So we actually have two equations now. We have Q of t equals Q0 e to the minus 0.5t, and we have Q of 1,000 equals 0.2. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, if we want to use this, we need to recreate it. So the question is, how do we recreate Q of 1,000? Okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a working explanation. And we're going to look at this and we're going to get from what we have to what we want. So here we have Q of t equals to Q naught e to the minus 0.5t. And what we want to make is Q of 1,000. So here we have to think of an action. Like, what are we going to do to get from Q of t to Q of 1,000? And a hint is to look at the difference here. What you might say is, the difference between these two is that this t becomes 1,000. And mathematically what we're doing here is we are substituting t for 1,000. 1000. And this is important because when you do an action on one half of the equal sign, you have to do the same action on the other side of an equal sign. So here, on this left side, we replaced t with 1000. So we have to do the same action on the right hand side. And therefore we get q of 1000 equals q naught e to minus 0.5 by 1000. And minus 0.5 by 1000 is actually minus 500. Okay? And now the whole reason why we wanted to recreate q of 0 was to use this equation. And what this equation does is it lets us replace q of 1000 with 0.2, and technically vice versa, but we don't need that in this question. So what we can say is 0.2 equals q naught by e to the minus 500. And now our goal is to find the original amount, i.e. this q naught. So we have to ask ourselves, what action should we take to isolate q naught? And right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do parsing. So we've got q naught by e to the minus 500. And what we want to do is we want to split it up. So what we can do is we can split this up into q naught and e to the minus 500. And the operation happening between them is multiplication. So if we want to undo multiplication, we need to do division. So the step we need to take is we need to divide by e to the minus 500. And the reason we do that is we want to get rid of this part here. So what we do here is we say we divide both sides by e to the negative 500. And then we get 0.2 e to the minus 500 equals q naught. And you can just fill this into a calculator, and that would be your original amount.